Welcome back to Neil RC, guys. Here we are with yet another video. Yep, we are doing them up one after the other as soon as we possibly can, getting these things nailed off. This is a nightcrawler by Losi. This one here I've had for, I'm gonna have to say, about 5 years, maybe 6. It's been a long time. Been a long time that I've had this. I love this little rig. It has so many options. I have gotten a few videos of this on my channel crawling. I just can't put my finger on it. But it just works, and it works so well. And for that reason, I got one. It was by a real big accident that I did. And I'll explain that to you as we go through this. The original nightcrawler, Losi nightcrawler, had lights up underneath the cab that mounted on brackets that shine down where your wheels were so that you could physically rock crawl with it at night. It also had rock crawler headlight up here, and so you could actually see out past it. It really looked spectacular. The original nightcrawlers did. This one here, as far as I can tell, has had some new stuff put on it by different places. I have tried my own thoughts and matters with it. I have adjusted some of this stuff myself. I have played with this and that, trying to make it happy for me, and I have done so. That's the reason why I run it. These tires that you see on this right now, we'll just go right to that first. This here are the J Concept Tusk. They're a 4.75 by 1.75, and they are a 1.9 inch tire rim combination. They are running the Proline 2-stage foams. This will never see water. This rig will also never see water. It may see damp rock, but that's about the extent of it. It will not see any puddles or anything like that. It's not a puddle jumper. It is a dedicated rock crawling. That's it. With this one here, there are 4 body posts. The original setup was 2 on each side. There are little posts that stick out on the side of the body, 2 here and 2 over here, and all you have to do is literally just pull the sides out every so little bit and lift it up. And as we're talking about this body, y'all, I know there's a few of you people that follow another channel that's on YouTube and has a very big following. When he was designing one of his crawlers here a few years ago, he was asking in one of his lives, I believe it was, it may have been actually in a video itself, about bodies for narrow bodies. I told him the nightcrawler body. That's all I told him, by Losi. I says, there's side mount, there's enough room in the hood in the back to do his usual one mount thing, if you wanted to go that route. And lo and behold, what do you see on his channel? Cut down. Literally, I've seen him cut all this stuff down. He didn't drill the holes in the side doors, obviously, but he just cut this whole thing down and used this for his body with his pin here and his screw tab here for his body mount. But yeah, that's what he's using. So if you have one of his and you know which vehicle I'm talking about, one of those, they're kind of set up this way, to be honest with you. They're very close, very closely linked together as far as what they did. They just don't make these anymore. They're obsolete. And yeah, that's the deal with the nightcrawler. And as you can tell, it's got a Rhino ESC and motor in this one also. Love it. It's got a bunch of oddball stuff in this one, guys. And when I mean oddball, it's got a BETU servo, 35 kg metal digital servo, and this servo is by far very strong. I don't know how strong, but I just know it's a very good strong ESC, or servo I should say. I am running the radio link receiver in this because when I got this vehicle back about 5 years, maybe a little longer ago, all I got was a cage, and I got the shocks, the axles, the links, and the drive shafts. That was it. I got no tires, I got no servo, no motor, no ESC. I did get a servo that wasn't attached yet, I believe, to, yeah, it wasn't attached yet. It had the rods and everything, it just wasn't attached yet for the rear locking rear and front diff, because these do actually have that. The front diff, it locks separately from the rear, so you can either drag the rear or you can drag the front, depending on what you want to do with this one. It all does it through the gearbox, and that's why they're so hard to come by. It is running, like I said, the Rhino ESC, the same setup, I believe. Nope, this is actually the 22, or the 2220 kV. So the 2220 kV motor, which makes this the AM-S20 Rhino ESC, brushless motor revolver. It fits in there so well. I mean, you just couldn't ask for any better fitment. It was almost made for it, you'd think. Okay? That's a very tight space. And when I mean tight, you can't put a 550 can in that. All right? You can barely get a 380 can in that. That's how tight of a space it is right here. Because you got a rear link that comes right to there. So anything rear of this, your motor would stick out on a 550. Okay? That gives you a little clue on the tight space that this is. It is the Losi aluminum side plates, both sides. And of course, it's got its body mounts, like I told you. It has a very well balanced vehicle for side hilling. The tip over rate on this is okay, almost balanceable. You know, especially with these rims and tires. It's got the same weights that my other crawler has for front weight. But this is what I love about this vehicle. Everybody complains about flex. I don't complain about flex. Oops. I complain about not having enough flex on some vehicles. Okay? There you go. And yes, that's almost completely compressed. I could almost, well, I could. Let me show you. There. And the front tires are both on the ground. Okay? And it can tip right to that point. You can see that tire bouncing in the back. Let me see if I can't kick this around. Right to there. See how that tire is just now coming up off the table? And look how far that front end's bounced up. And I can do that to either side. Okay? Front or back. So yes, it's very smooth. Very nice riding rig. Love the chassis design. I love the way this thing crawls. Like I said, I paid I think it was like $100 for the chassis. It was basically a slider, is what they call a slider, which basically calls it no electronics. I did get the steering servo, or not the steering servo, the servo for the gear selector just wasn't hooked up. And then I got the linkages for the steering. No tires, no ESC, no motor, no front steer or steering servo, no none of that. So this is what I brought it to. I put my battery up here in the front, which does push a little down on this. I do run a 3S in this. I don't run anything bigger than that in here. I don't need it. 3S is plenty big enough. The little 3S packs, work great. This one here has had hot racing top spindles front up here, little end caps to keep the screws from coming out, top and bottom. It also has the hot racing ends here to widen it out just a little bit, I think is what they're used for. Maybe for weight too. No idea. That may be weight. It does have a plastic skid. Multiple screws in the bottom. I will say that. It is a two-piece axle, I believe, if I'm not mistaken on this, where you got two halves that push together. I really like the way it's set up. I thought about trying some different axles on it, seeing how I wouldn't lose the dig because it's in the transmission. They won't fit because of the design of the A-arm or the links for the front and rear. It doesn't match up to just anything. They're designed for this. So whatever axles, if these ever decide to break or dismantle themselves, unless I can find the gears and the shafts somewhere online, this rig won't be able to be ran no more. So I'm pretty careful with it, to say the least. But yeah, she runs really good. It's, like I said, it's got the Radio Link R8FG receiver in it right now. Only because when I put this together with this, I didn't have another 4-channel. I do have one more 4-channel in my radio box, so I will probably switch this out to one of those 4 channels and pull this receiver out and bind it to the radio with that receiver, especially seeing how we're so close. It's not like we're trying to operate from long distances. That's what this receiver is for very far away, like over a football field. You're not going to see this without binoculars at a football field. Okay, especially be able to see your area of what you're trying to crawl over. Something this old comes with standard hardware. It is not metric. Everything that I've found so far has been hex driven hardware, but it's all standard. It's not metric. So there's the other issue. You have to have a set of standard set hexes, Allen wrenches, to tear this thing apart, and they do go small. 1/16 I believe is the smallest one that I've got, and it's that one right there. Oh, that's 1.5. Hang on, that's the standard size. It's this one right here, and that is, yeah, a 1/16. Some of this hardware is on this particular model, and it goes all the way up to, I want to say the biggest one is this one here, which is a 3/32. So yeah, it was a whole nother set of hardware just and tools just to work on this rig. No big deal. Harbor Freight's down the road and they always have tools. Some of them are real cheap, some of them aren't. Those tools that I just showed you work great for this. You got both sets. A little tight to get into some spots, but they do have ball ends, so you can actually get in there and kind of work at an angle if you have to. Key point there. Most of these tools that we use, these are cheap Amazon buy or Temu buy that I had bought or I had got given to me. They're flat. They're all flat ended. Even these here that are Hobby Park. Okay, that's the 2.5. Oop. So you can see it, guys. Sorry, but even those are flat tipped. You know, nobody actually sells the rounded tips. Why? Because most generally those rounded tips ain't made for torquing anything. Those rounded tips are for those bolts that are at an angle, at a real funny angle. So that's what causes that. That's the reason why they make them, as far as I know. The axles on this are basically plastic. It does have aluminum hubs, C-hubs, front and the aluminum hubs in the back that mount to the tires. Same width all the way around. As far as the wheel hexes go, I don't have anything set up with offset on anything here, or inset, I guess you want to call it. It works very well, climbs well, does pretty decent on rock climbing. Haven't had any issues. Love the rig. It's got tons of setup issues or setup things that you can do to it. You know, you can literally take this rod from way back here and slide it all the way to the front. It puts some more pressure down front, but at the same time it pulls the front up and toward the back. But at the same time, there's screws back here that you can actually pull down on, which will actually suck this down some more. If I'm looking at the scissor area on this correctly, if you drop these holes down back here, it actually tilts it like a scissor and allows it to actually suck the front end down a little bit more. I haven't found that I needed to do that yet. Now, Cherokee Rock Village may be a different story. Be the reason why I'm putting these rock crawlers up, because I'm hoping this spring, summer, fall, at the latest, I'm going to get a chance to go up and hang out for the weekend. Take the camper and just go. Have some fun rock crawling on the rocks. Come back when I want, or when we want, and have lunch, supper, breakfast, whatever it is. Sit back, relax, do what we want to do. Go out and rock crawl some more. Go check out and hang out with some friends over there in Alabama. Lord knows there's a bunch of them there. Slime ball, yeah. Talking to you. Talking to you, bud. Crawl Tech, I think you're another one that's out that way. He don't watch my channel, by the way. Shame on him. He's way up over here. He's up over my head on some of his stuff. He's got a motorcycle shop now that he's tending to. So yeah, that's my nightcrawler Losi. Ramble. Did put the EC5 plugs on mine. That's what most of my batteries are anyway. Running them on everything that has a lot of voltage. And that's the thing about everybody. You can get away with running XT60s on these small mAh batteries. Not a problem. They won't overheat. You go ahead and start running these big 4S packs with 6500 mAh or 7200 mAh. The plugs are going to overheat. They're going to get hot. They're going to start wearing, where they're not making that solid connection. And when you don't have that solid connection on your equipment, it causes heat. Heat causes interference with your radio system and your motors and your ESCs and your steering servos, and it starts frying stuff. If you're going to get into this hobby, make sure you make note. Some battery ends are made for certain batteries. Now, if these batteries weren't dedicated to their Rario, I would probably still keep these batteries on these here, because the C is so small. It's not hurting that any by allowing them to stay with them with that size battery terminal. Now, I've got battery packs over here that are 4S, and some of them are 7200 mAh, 120C. Should I still be running these on there? Yeah, I can get away with running these on there. But I think the black and yellow stripped ones, the solid black with the yellow strip, SBs, I guess, or Qs. I think it's Qs. The Qs, that would probably be a better use of them for that kind of use, because it is a high amp draw, and they're capable of holding that high amp draw without overheating the connection, which causes the interference, which causes you to lose control and look bad on the track. So that's my cue for the day. I'm not going to say no more. There's no need in it. We're all just here having fun, trying to do the best we can, and that's what Neil RC is all about, is having fun, doing the best we can, making a good time of it all for everybody. And I love you all very much. Thank you all for constantly coming back and watching the videos. Hopefully everybody is seeing the new videos. I have seen a few people watch them. Some of them are leaving comments, some of them are not. That's fine. But make sure you sub up, tune in, and if you have questions on the nightcrawler here, don't be afraid to leave a comment down there. I will see it. I will reply to it. I always do. I try to do my best with keeping my followers happy, with providing them the answers they need. That's my whole point of it, as far as I'm concerned. If anybody has any other questions, you can leave them down in the comments below, and I will try and do my best with helping you out with what I can. Thanks for coming in, seeing Neil RC. We'll see you later. Go have some fun, and yeah, that's it.